Welcome to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost with me, Charlie Leatham. If you're a small business owner looking to simplify technology and get real, actionable advice from someone with 35 years of IT experience, you're in the right place. Every episode, I'll dive into tools and systems like email, CRM, marketing and tracking, and I'll break them down into bite-sized tips you can use straight away. Your time is valuable, so let's get straight to the point. It's time to work smarter, not harder. Rise and shine. It's your daily dose of business tech inspiration with me, Charlie Leatham. Episode number 584, and I'm starting a new series. At least I think I'm starting a new series. I may digress a little as we go through this, depending on what comes up, but I'm starting a new series, and this series is trying to demystify this huge system that we call the internet. I want to dig down into a few things. I want to talk about the jargon that we use. I want to talk about the terms that we use and hopefully try and make things make a little bit more sense for you. Today, we're actually just going to be talking about how the internet actually moves your website to someone's screen, or how you get a website displayed on your screen. We're going to look at I'm not going to get into any real technical detail. Hopefully I'm going to give you enough technical detail that some of the jargon, some of the things that occur start to make a little bit more sense. So we're going to start, first of all, with looking at some of the definitions. We've got a domain name. We have a DNS lookup. We have a hosting server. We have an internet path. Whether that's a good term or not, I don't know. And we have browser assembly. I'm going to dig into each of those throughout today's episode. Hopefully I can make it land. If I don't, question me. Come and have a chat within the comments on these videos. Come and join my community. Connect with me on any of my social media channels and question me, ask me, because I really want to try and help you guys understand this stuff. I want to take a lot of the mystification out of it. But let's start. A domain name. What is a domain name? A domain name, askcharlieleatham.com. That is a domain name. I'm not going to go into what the suffix is. Yep, the suffix, the .com, the .com.au, the whatever. Suffice to say that your domain name has at least two parts. It has a name, Ask Charlie Leatham, and then an extension, .com, .com.au, .co.uk, .co.nz. There's a whole heap. There is a whole heap. So your domain name has got two parts to it. AskCharlieLeatham.com, for example. It is all it is a human-friendly label for your site, for your internet presence. And the whole idea of a domain name is to make it easy for people to remember how to get to you. The internet, being a digital creation, works on numbers. Human brains, whilst we do work on numbers, we do tend to remember words and phrases better. So in order to make the internet work, the domain name system was created. Domain names, askcharlieleatham.com, translate, and we're going to get into this, to an IP address, to a physical numbered address on the internet, so that when you type in on your keyboard, askcharlieleatham.com, all these things occur, a number is sent back to your computer says, oh, cool, I'm going to go out to that address, and it goes to that address and it gets everything back. So that's what your domain name is. Your domain name is the start of this entire chain, and it's the thing that we use as humans to remember how to get somewhere, how to connect to a website, how to send an email. Okay. DNS lookup. This is where the IP address comes in. The IP address, Internet Protocol Address. You may think that these terms, DNS and IP address and all these things, are just names that we use. They are just names. They are just tags that we use. They all have an origin in the basis of the internet, in the creation of the internet. They all have things that they mean. So IP address is Internet Protocol Address. It's a unique number assigned to every device on the internet. So my computer has an IP address assigned to it. My web servers have IP addresses assigned to it. Mail servers have IP addresses assigned to them. Every single device on the internet has an IP address associated with it. It's like a GPS coordinate. I guess you could say that. It pinpoints the exact location of the server that you want to connect to. And your domain name is basically the nickname that translates to that. So let me see if I can make this land a little easier rather than talking in circles. Your domain name is like saying, hey, we're going to Charlie's Place, or Charlie's Place is your domain name. Hey, we're going to Charlie's Place. Now, there is a point that you get to in your life where you go, oh yeah, Charlie's Place, that's at 123 ABC Street, XYZ City. And you know that. Now you know that because at some point in your life, you went and either someone told you that that was the address, or you went to a phone book, if you are old enough to remember what phone books were, and looked it up and said, where's Charlie's Place? Oh, Charlie's Place is this address. Cool. That's where we're going. So now you have two things. You've got the human-friendly Charlie's Place, and you know, however you know, that it is at this physical location. So Charlie's Place is more of a nebulous thing, whereas the physical location is the physical location. It doesn't move. What can happen is that Charlie can move. Charlie can go from 123 ABC Street, XYZ City to 567 Avenue, DEF Place, wherever. And I will update all my details, and then someone will say, hey, we're going to go to Charlie's Place. And you go, cool, I'm no longer going to go to 123 Street. I'm now going to go to 567 Street Avenue, because that's all updated. All you need to remember is Charlie's Place. Everything else gets done in the background. So that's the analogy that I'm trying to pull here between the domain name and the IP address. The IP address is the physical location. The domain name is that tag that you remember that physical location as. Sorry, I was just thinking, that's like driving bike. That's almost like driving using landmarks. Entirely different story. One day I might tell that story. Now, without the DNS lookup, without that connection though, you wouldn't know that Charlie's Place is located at this physical location. So there is a process that sits at a very low level on the internet, and when you type in, I want to go to askcharlieletham.com, a request goes out into a subsystem on the internet called the DNS system. A DNS system, that'll do. It says, hey, I need to get to askcharlieletham.com. How do I get there? Or what's the address that I need? And something will come back and say, here's the address. Now, at the lower levels, you don't see it. You don't need to see it. You don't need to. You rarely need to even know what the IP address of the site is. Sometimes you might need to know. You rarely need to know it. And your computer goes, cool, I now know I need to get to this address. And through the magic of the internet, it says, send me to this address. And much like typing in an address in your GPS, in your Waze or your Google Maps or whatever it is you're running in your car, say, I want to get to this address, and it goes, cool, we're going to take these roads. That's what happens on the internet. So we have our domain name, we have our IP address, we have a DNS lookup. That's how the traffic kind of runs. That's how we kind of get the request from one end to the other. Then when we're trying to serve a website, when we're trying to send a website out, we need to have somewhere that we can store all of the code that runs the site, the images, the scripts, where we store all the data in databases, so that when someone finally says, hey, I'm going to go to Charlie's Place, they turn up on the street in front of my house, there is a house there. That house is much like our hosting server. It's where I have all my stuff. It's where I can serve my food. It's where I can serve drinks. It's where I can have people come in and be guests of mine. It's got all my stuff in it. And a hosting server has all your stuff, all the physical stuff, the files, the images, the scripts, the databases, the HTML files, the PHP files, the applications that you run. That is a hosting server. Your hosting server is quite literally another computer that sits somewhere out there in the big part of the internet. It might be located in a data center in Australia. It might be located in a data center in the US. It might be located in Canada or India or China, or it could be located anywhere. Now, you normally get to choose where those servers are located by choosing the right type of provider. But it doesn't really matter where that server is located. The fact is that it is there. It's a piece of hardware that runs. It stores all of the physical information. And when you say, I want to get to askcharlielatham.com, and that DNS lookup goes out and says, hey, how do I get there? When your request finally gets down to ask to the server, there is a server there, and it says, here's all the files you need. Here's all the stuff you need for me to be able to build the web page and build the site that you're looking for. I have spoken very quickly just then about the internet path, and that is basically the path that goes from your computer to the web server. So it's not like you put out a request and say, hey, I need to get to askcharlielatham.com, and it connects you straight to askcharlielatham.com. It is exactly like getting in your car to having to drive to someone's house. You've got to go down this street, turn right, turn left, go round the roundabout. We're in Australia. Roundabouts are a big thing. I was in Canberra until recently. Roundabouts are a really big thing. Go round the roundabout, turn left here, go up this hill, turn left, turn right, and there you are. So when we're looking at the internet, rather than having physical instructions like go straight ahead, turn left, turn right, we have routers, we have devices that say, okay, we need to send this piece of traffic to this server over here. We've got these interconnects, so we're going to send this off to this server, and this is going to send it off, and this is going to send it off, and this is going to send it off. You could have multiple, what we call hops, multiple stops between your PC and or your device and the web server that you're trying to get to, or the website that you're trying to get to. So the internet path is how that traffic traverses the world from your computer out into the internet, through the internet to your web server, and then back again. It can vary depending on the network conditions, and outages can cause slowdowns, or it could just cause an outage. The internet isn't just a series of, okay, we've got a device here and we've got direct connections all the way through. It is quite literally one big mesh. And this one device here might connect to 3 or 4 devices. And it does that because if one of those goes out, at least it's got 2 more to go through. It's got 4 more options to choose from. The technology is amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. It does all of this stuff, and it just thinks about it. It doesn't even, it thinks about it in digital terms and says, okay, I've got to send this traffic out, and the best route today is to send it this way, or the best route today is to send it this way. I need to get this piece of traffic out to Europe, and I need to get this piece of traffic out to China, and I need to get this piece of traffic out to Canada. So I know that I can send it this way, and I can send it this way, and I can send it that way. That's what your internet path is. It's not just a series of direct hops. It is meshed. It's got lots of interconnects, so that if one path goes down, hopefully, all being well, you've got another path that you can go through. Your single biggest issues with that type of with that is your direct connection to the internet. If that goes down, you can't connect to the internet, so you can't get your website. And your web server. Your web server typically is one device. If that goes down, your website's not going to display. So we've got our domain name, We've got our DNS lookup, which translates the domain name to a physical address. We've got the physical address, which is the hosting server, the physical device where everything is. And then we have our road system, the internet path, the road system of how our traffic, how our request traffic gets from our device out to our web server and back again. The last part of that, if we're talking about, let's talk about websites and viewing our websites. We have a browser. Now, what is a browser? A browser is a program. I'm sure you all know this because we all use browsers today. But a browser is a program. We've got Chrome, we've got Edge, we've got Safari. What else do we have? Firefox. They're the four main ones that I can think of. Brave, I use Brave, which is a Chrome derivative, high privacy Chrome derivative. There's a couple of others out there. They are programs that run on our devices and they take all of that data in, decode all of that data, and display the code, the decoded data on our machines in a human readable format. That is what a web browser is. So if we're talking about websites, that's what we need. We need the web browser. It puts it all together and it displays it on our screen. But we don't just use web browsers, do we? We also do email. So we need email programs. Now, we can run an email program within our web browser, but that's because the email program is running on a server in the internet and we're just connecting to that and it's doing all of that stuff with the email. But we need an email reader. We need a web browser. What else do we need? Games. We're playing games on the internet. We need a way of connecting to the game server and decoding all of that and then getting all of that information back and visually displayed for us. So we have, and I'm going to try and make this analogy land. We've got our domain name, which is our street name, the human-friendly name. We have our IP address and DNS lookup, which is the GPS coordinates, and going and looking up and saying, where is Charlie's place located? We've got the hosting server, which is the house where all the stuff is kept. We have our internet path, which is our roads and our vehicles to get us to that location and get to and from that location. And then we have our browser or our browser assembly, which is like opening the box. So if it's not a browser, it'll be an email program, it'll be a game, it will be something. It's opening the box. Everything comes back to us and there's this lovely little box that we can then open on our computer and you can watch people like me bang on about stuff that may or may not be of interest. Okay, so that's a start. I was really want to try and get this down to, I want to try and get this down to some plain English terms and try and demystify a lot of it. It is so easy for someone to say, yeah, the internet's down. Well, and I guess this is part of the tech in me. It's like, oh, the internet's down. Okay, I can't get to the web server. Okay, what does that mean? So when you get someone like me who comes back to you and says, what does that mean? When you say the internet is down, what does that mean? It's because we're talking about such a huge complex system. The internet is multiple layers. It's multiple devices, multiple systems, multiple layers that we need to then drill into to say, well, where is it broken? Can you not connect to the internet? Do you not have an internet connection? Like, can your device not connect to the internet? Okay, well, that gives me one place to go and look to see where the problem might be. Oh, you can't get to your web server, but you can get to other websites. Okay, so now we know we've got a problem with the website. You know, you're not getting email. Okay, well, that's another system that I can go and look at. So when people say, oh, the internet's broken, yep, which part of the internet is broken? And you will get lots of questions back about, well, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do the next thing? And that's because people like me are trying to work out where it's broken so that we know where to go and start fixing it. All right. Questions, comments, feedback. I hope I've actually raised some questions here that I haven't answered. I hope it's not too boring. I hope it's not too complicated. I really am trying to keep it I'm really trying to bring it down to things that we as people, as general, just normal people can understand, as opposed to, those of us that sit here with our propellers on our heads going, this is really exciting stuff. And it is exciting stuff. For me, it's exciting. What do you think? Let me know. If you've got questions, comments, feedback, come and join my community, askcharlieletham.locals.com. There's another website for you. If you don't want to do that, you can always just leave comments on these videos. I will respond to them eventually when I'm not recording and not trying to fix other problems. If this video was useful to you, please give it a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so that you, not we, you can find out when I drop more content. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Bye. Hey there, thanks so much for tuning in to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost. I hope today's episode gave you some actionable insights that will make your business tech work smarter for you. If you found value, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other small business owners who could use a daily boost. For more tips, tools, and resources, visit www.askcharlieletham.com. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and let's make tech simple together.